What's really good, and welcome back to another segment of the Opinionated Ones as part of the Sanchez Show. As always, got my brother Will Gordon with me. I am Eric Sanchez. It's a new segment that we kind of kicking in. We normally do Friday nights, but football season's over. So let's do the Tuesday night toast. So let's get it started the right way. My brother Will Gordon. Will, the floor is yours, bro. What's on your mind, man? What you want
It's
to get off your
good,
chest?
man. It's a whole lot of tomfoolery going on out here in Hollywood right now. What's going on with what's going on with everybody coming at each other and hating that pause and hating on each other all the time, man. Like it's a lot of black on black crime going on in Hollywood right now. I'm not comfortable with it.
We're in a strange time, bro, because controversy. We know controversy always sells, but it seems like we are in this era of hating on someone is now used to elevate someone else. Now it seems like it's easier to just hate on somebody or throw shade or throw rumors around about somebody to elevate yourself.
And that's never the way to go in any arena, you know. If you can't stand on your own, like if you need to bring down other people to elevate yourself, that's not really where you want to be, because that's going to be short and it's not going to last, you know.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't really get it. We talked about it in the past with the Cat Williams interview, and then Monique shortly after that was on Club Shay Shay, and she was addressing her issues with Tyler Perry, with Oprah, with DL Hughley, and that's and especially like in comedy, like we talking Hollywood, but in comedy a lot now. It's becoming like wrestling beefs, like rap beefs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where comedians feel like they gotta go at each other to elevate their own platform.
And let me talk about Shay Shay real quick.
Let's get into that.
Let me talk about Shay Shay. So I got a frog, man. His platform has taken off and gone through the roof before the Cat Williams interview. Okay, like I'm a fan of his show. So let me start by saying I'm a fan of his, but what he's turned into is basically Wendy Williams,
hmm
where he's using his platform to just start mess. And it's not all on him, because, like, if you watch the Cat Williams interview, if you watch the Monique interview, he don't even be asking questions. He just let them get up there and just run their mouth. He's like, oh, Cat, what you talking? Come on, Cat. Oh, Monique, come on. That's all he gotta say. And then they just run off they just go off the meat rack and just talk. Wow. But he allows it. You know what I'm saying? And his platform has gotten so huge that it's detrimental to the community. And I think so, because you don't want that. You don't want that hate, man. Like, why are we hating on each other? You know, talking about 20-year-old, 30-year-old beefs. Why is that? Like, what does a 20 or 30-year-old beef have to do with us growing as a people and moving forward? You know what I'm
I
saying?
yeah, I'll say when the Cat interview came out and we talked about it, I was a defender of the interview because I felt like he gave Cat the platform to respond because Cedric, the entertainer, and Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey were previous guests, and they had mentioned Cat's name on Club Shay Shay. So I understood, like, he given Cat the platform to kind of respond to them. But then when he had Monique on, I kind of looked at it differently. And that's no hate towards Monique. I just looked at it differently because, as you mentioned, he allowed Monique to go up there and talk about people and do it in a way where it's like, so now these people can't even defend themselves from the allegations because Monique got the platform first, right?
Right.
And we know a lot of times in these spaces, the person who speaks first, normally that's what people run with as the truth.
But she
Whether it's
didn't
complete
get the
truth.
platform first.
No, but I'm saying in terms of her being able to talk about other people,
Yeah.
she got to
Well,
go on Club Shay Shay first and speak about situations that, like, again, it was only her perspective, and he treated it as if, like, well, since you telling me that got to be the truth. And that's
yeah.
the part that I didn't like, because I'm like, if we're gonna be fair, like you said, don't let it be messy. Don't let it turn into like a Wendy Williams type situation where it's just gossipy. If you're gonna be fair, give somebody else the opportunity to come up there and speak on it and defend themselves as well, because that's only Monique's perspective.
And that's the thing. It feels like real gossipy. Like if you're gonna have Monique on there spitting allegations, if you're gonna have Cat on there spitting allegations, at least set it up to where it's a back and forth,
Yeah,
where the people you making these allegations against can respond. Don't bring my name up if I can't defend it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the era I'm from. And Monique and Kat and all them, they older than me, so they should be already standing on that. But it's Hollywood, and they out here trying to just, you know, for real, get their names back out there.
Yeah, and I mean that part of it too. Like you mentioned it when Kat did it. Like Kat goes on his rant, but then also is promoting a tour right after you have this episode of Club Shay Shay that does like over 60 million views on YouTube, right? So it's great promo. Monique goes on the show, and then like 2 days later, we find out, oh, Kat just added her to the tour too. So
Yeah, it's like it's all
it,
promo.
yeah, but not only is it promo, it almost feels like they're reaching out to Shannon directly to be like, we gonna give you this type of content that's controversial, but also it's gonna be clickbait, because it's gonna give you all these sound bites that's gonna allow people to click into the interview and tune in.
Yeah.
But on the flip
And,
side, now it becomes a promo for us.
and it gives Shannon those views,
Right.
and it gives him the opportunity to elevate his platform even more. You know what I'm saying? And it just it just feels like we shouldn't be using up. We shouldn't be going against each other to elevate. You know what I'm
And
saying? We should be
I get
coming together.
right.
We need
I
to
agree.
come together to elevate. It don't need to be hate. It don't need, and that's what you think. You think it was 60 million niggas that was watching that show? No, no. It was a whole lot of other folks that was watching it, because they're like, oh, what's going on? Oh, what they talking about? Oh, because that's what they seek.
Of
That's what
course.
they have a hunger for. And we just feeding into that, and it's so negative. Like just like with me and you, have me and you ever gone against each other?
No, not personally. Yeah, we might have back and forth
Right.
about a topic, but not personally. No.
But right, personally, no, never would we do that, because where do we grow from that?
Nowhere.
We've grown from coming together.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this for how many years now? 3?
3 years now.
And that's because we come together, not because we try to separate ourselves from each other. Like you do your own thing. I know you do your own side projects. I'm just a guest. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you bringing me on. But you do your thing with other folks. Like Vern and Trip and everybody else. And I've done a couple solo lives by myself, just to do
Right.
something. But did I ever come at you? Did I
No.
ever come at Trip? Did I ever come at Vern?
No.
Did I ever come at Scoop or anybody that's
No.
participating in the show? No, because what do I have to gain from that?
Well, I
And
mean,
that's
no. I agree with you. I don't mean to cut you off. I mean, that's one of the things that was, like I said, we've talked about personally and on the show, where it's like, to me, like even the what I don't like about the Shannon thing was like we talked about, right? It's his platform. He can do what he wants with his platform. And I'm a fan of what he's done. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not. I'm a fan of how he's grown his audience. But what I didn't like was that he allowed the space for people to talk about other people. Like you said, I allowed Wendy Williams type, right? But then got offended when somebody talked about him. You can't
Oh
have it.
yeah.
You can't have it both ways, bro. Cause like,
I let Shannon have it this week with his sassy ass.
yeah. I'm just
I let
saying.
Shannon have it because you know me. I'm from the womb. I'm a come out and Joan on you, or
Right,
but that's what we call it in DC. Like I'm a roast you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was quite roastable this week,
Of course.
stepping out, stepping out the SUV with the onesie on, with the onesie on, and the safety patrol belt. Like I'm gonna get on you if you come.
I
If
don't
that's
know.
what you if that's what you feel, that's fine.
I
But
don't
I'm
know
gonna
if you.
come at you for that shit.
I don't know if you saw it. Shout out to Lou Young because Lou Young did a remake, a reenactment of the video,
Hey
and
yo,
that's
Lou is
Lou.
crazy.
Lou is a
Lou
goat.
crazy.
Lou is a goat with the content, and he did a recreation of it, and that shit is hilarious and right on point. But
I'd
like I
love to
said,
get Lou on the show, man.
of
That
course.
dude's
Oh
funny as
hell
shit.
yeah, hell yeah.
And
I
I
fuck
think
with
he
Lou.
got some DMV ties too,
He
Lou
from
Young.
he from Baltimore, I believe.
He a Baltimore dude? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Baltimore dude. But
Yeah, he
like I
crazy,
said,
man.
if you Shannon, right, you sitting up in there, you laughing and kikiing when Cat Williams is making jokes about Earthquake can't read, and Cedric was sitting up here like this, and calling Steve Harvey a country bumpkin, you laughing about all that, but then you mad that Mike Epps made jokes about you.
Yeah.
Like you get
And
that's what I'm saying. You can't have it
yeah,
both
and
ways
then
because that's like if we had a guest up here and they was talking about somebody and then we laughing at them talking about somebody and then that person that they were talking about or anybody else came back and was like, yo, Will and Eric this and crack jokes on us. I can't be mad and take it to like, oh, when I see you, it's on. Because it's like I just sat here and laughed when somebody else was cracking jokes about somebody.
right. That's another thing. I forgot about that whole element, the whole Mike Epps beef or so-called beef.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you went ham on Mike Epps with Ocho on what did they call that show
Nightcap.
on the nightcap. Like you was trying to put hands on this dude. Like for real, is that where we at as grown men?
Yeah, he
For
wanted
real,
to fight, right? He made
when you
threats.
allowed all this bullshit, and then a comedian made just a simple joke about you, and now you want to fight a dude?
Yep.
Come on, dog. And you want to fight a dude that you bigger than, and you could probably, you know,
That you felt you could
tussle
muscle.
with.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I've said on this show multiple times, I'm an Epps guy. Like Mike Epps is my guy. He ain't mean nothing about that.
Not at all.
Mike Epps, and that's why I rock with him. He just like the drunk uncle at the barbecue. You know what I'm saying? That's why he funny to me. That's all he was doing was making the drunk uncle jokes, and then all of a sudden, uh, Shay want to go hard pause and act like it's gonna be on site. When I see you, I'm gonna be at the All-Star game. When I see you, it's gonna be on site. And then the first time you see them together, it's squashed and they
They shaking
dapping each other
that,
up and all that. Like,
and that's
yo,
why. And
you ain't gotta be no gangster. Ain't we too grown for that? In 2024, we should
that's
not be on that shit no more.
but listen, right? And not to say I promote violence or I'm condoling violence, but that's why I like what Mike F said. Because Mike F said, if you run up on me, we not fighting. You already know what type of time I'm on. Like I'm
Yeah,
too old.
he said, I
Right,
don't fight.
right. I
He was
don't
like, yeah,
fight.
I don't fight.
I'm too old to be wrestling with you in the street. And I think
And
sometimes,
he probably had his folks with him.
right, that's his
That was his
hometown.
hometown.
Right.
You come
And
to my town, you coming to my city, dude.
thank you.
So what you think is gonna happen?
Right. Like
And
you're not just going.
who you bringing with you?
It don't
Who you
honestly it don't
bringing?
matter. But see,
Stephen A?
sometimes too, right. But sometimes too, this where people get it confused, right? It becomes such a popularity contest that they assume that the person that they like or that they find more popular automatically got to be the tougher person. Just because Shannon is bigger in stature, right? And of course he athletic build, physically he bigger. That don't mean he tougher than Mike Epps.
Right,
Because
yeah.
I'm sure you and I know I have it. I'm sure you have. We've seen dudes who were smaller in stature than somebody and still knocked them out.
The
We've
bigger they come, the harder they
right.
fall.
We've seen dudes, you know what I'm saying, who physically you're like, oh, he's just an average looking dude, but mentally he might be tougher than another dude. So that don't mean nothing. You run down on him, it's gonna be a long day for you. So that's why I didn't like that part. Like you said, for Shannon to take it there to make it seem like, oh, like it's gonna be a problem when I see you. Like, hold on, like you might not even be like that, Shannon. Why are you using this verbiage like when I see you? That's not even who you are.
It was just disappointing for me.
All of
This
it
is
was.
two
All of it
this
was.
is two dudes. They both in their 50s, bro.
Yeah.
Like, are we supposed to be really on that in your 50s? For real? That's what
And
we doing in front of everybody. That's what we doing over a joke.
let me ask you another question on top of that too, right?
Yeah.
Let's say 2 years from now, right? We elevate this platform to the point where we're able to rub shoulders with other people in the same space, right? Like we mentioned Lou Young, we mentioned Stephen A. Smith, we mentioned other people in the space that we respect their work, right? Shout out to the junkies and JP, right? If we had an issue with somebody as grown men and I'm already in a space, why wouldn't I just pick up the phone and call you? Why would I get on my platform and talk shit about you?
Right. It's because they're trying to see. I think it's more of a monetary thing than anything else. Because the more drama they cause, the more money they see. And we ain't on that. We ain't on that. We keep it pure. But to see people that already got it, you know what I'm saying? Like you got it. So what's the point? It's a bad look overall, except for what you can gain monetarily, which is very, very disappointing for me. Like, you don't need to come at dudes like that. Both sides. I'm not saying nobody's innocent, but I will say Epsy is not guilty. He's a he's a fucking comedian. What do you expect him to do? Not tell jokes?
Yeah,
He
I didn't
told
think
jokes.
I didn't think Mike Epps was wrong in any part of anything he said. And like I said, that's not condoning
No.
violence. But if you make threats towards me as a man, like again, whatever level you take it to, you got to be ready for me to match you at that level.
Yeah.
Like you can't,
But
you can't. No, but hold on, right? Like Will, like I've said, because I love to use analogies. If we out somewhere, right, and let's say we just casually talking shit with somebody, and then somebody start to get disrespectful with you, you gotta be the bigger man and let you be disrespectful. No, now I'm gonna meet that level of energy you just brought to me.
yeah, exactly. I'm a
Right,
outdo whatever you trying to do.
right. And if I take it to the next level, then you better be fucking crazy enough to meet me at that next level now because
Yeah,
you took
for
it. You
sure.
took it here. You
Because I
took it
got it
here.
on this hip. I got it
Right,
on this hip. So you got
right.
so, but it should never come to that.
No,
It should
it
never
should
come to that.
never, it should never come to that. But I hate people that, like they say, throw stones and then try to hide your hand. I hate people who try to take it somewhere and then when it doesn't work for them, then they want to become the victim.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like that. To me, I don't like that at all. And I always say this too. It's not to like no claim no tough guy shit. We from real environments. Like let's keep it
right,
real. We're from
right.
real
But you from
environments.
you from where?
I'm
You
from the
from
Bronx. I'm from the
yeah.
Bronx.
So you from the boogie down,
Yeah, we
and
from
I'm
real
from
environments.
PG County. I rep PG County all
Right.
day. You
But
know what I'm
we
saying?
from we from real environments where you talk about somebody the wrong way. We seen how that could play out for you.
Right.
And so
And
to
I'm
me,
not trying to act like a tough guy. I was never no tough guy, but I ain't never get punked. You know what
I
I'm
say the
saying?
same thing.
You feel me? Like I had a like my household was solid. It was in a bad environment, but I was never that dude out here trying to, you know what I'm saying? But if you came at me, guess what? You're gonna have to deal with the squad.
It's gonna be a long
You
day.
know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a long day.
You're gonna have to deal with the
Yeah.
whole block if you fucking with me. You're gonna have to deal with Millwood. Shout out to Millwood. You're gonna have to deal with the whole Darrell terrorists. Shout out to them. You're gonna have to deal with whatever block I was on. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to deal with us because everybody rock with me because I wasn't on no fake shit ever. I never came out here trying to be no tough guy or whatever. And that's what, and you know, from the boogie down,
Yep.
the dudes that was really on that, when they saw the guys on their block that was not on that, they protected them.
Well, not only that, I think like when you come from them environments, people respect genuine. When you know who you are, like you said, when you're not trying to pretend to be something, when you yourself, when you true to yourself, people respect it on a level, like you said, where your neighborhood is going to kind of insulate you with like, nah, you're not gonna fuck with that person. Because that person ain't fronting. They not out here trying to be on some bullshit. They just doing their thing. They minding their business. You know what I'm saying? You play sports
Right.
growing up. I play sports growing up. So we
For
knew
sure.
we knew the dudes that was outside doing their thing, and they looked at it like, nah, he doing his thing. Leave him alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like he ain't fucking with nobody. He ain't bothering
Yeah, no
nobody.
nothing.
Yeah,
I ain't never had I ain't never had nobody put no drugs in my hand to push nothing. I ain't never had nobody put a gun in my hand to try to handle nothing. It was I was separate from all that.
yeah.
But
And
they knew I was able to be better, you know what I'm saying? So that's when they watch you, you
right,
know, cuz they see something in you that they don't see in themselves.
right.
You feel me? It's like, yo, he might have a chance. You know, when which is kind of sad in itself,
Of
because they don't
course.
see it in themselves. You know what I'm saying? But they see it in me. You know, so and for Stephen A. I mean not Stephen. My bad, Stephen A. For Shannon and for Shannon to get in that kind of thing when it's not really that serious, bro. Like you just
That's why.
making it look very bad, man.
That's why.
We
That's why I
we too
didn't.
old for this shit.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like any of that because, like I said, we come from environments where we know saying the wrong thing about somebody leads to places where it doesn't need to lead to. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't casually say when I see you there's going to be a problem because then like I said, let's again all hypothetical. You say that to Mike Epps, right? You going into his city, like you said, where not only Mike Epps is beloved, he a hometown hero, but he gonna have people that's gonna ride for him in that city.
Yeah, he gonna have his folks with him. You're
Right.
like, yeah,
So
what you
now,
really
so
trying
now,
to do?
so now if one of his mans just kind of jump out the window and say, yo, there goes Shannon. I heard what you said about my mans. I'm not even gonna let you get close to him. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Now that whole situation escalated. Why? Because you being tough on the internet.
Yep.
That
And
that's what I don't like.
and being so tough about what? You know what I'm saying? All he did was make a little. He said you look like Medea, and you looked a little spicy. That's what he. That's what he said, right? So if you can't take that, if your skin is that thin, all this talk about where you came from and uh, remember the one Jamie he was talking about? Oh, I came on up on uh hardwood floors. It was remember all that shit? We used to pee out back. Like we
Hmm.
didn't have any. We had to use the bathroom out back. We were two hard floors, and it was six of us in the bedroom. If you that tough, you let this little dude say two jokes, and that sets you off. When you when you was on two hard floors, and come on, bro, like which one is it?
Yeah, but
Which
I
one
just
is it?
like I said too. I always relate back to if that's the issue. If you felt him saying you look spicy, if that's what the issue was, what was stopping you from just picking up the phone? Like, yo, I just ain't appreciate the comment you made.
Yeah, and it didn't need to be public
Right.
at all.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because
Yeah, you're right. You
nobody,
exactly right.
nobody would know that it was an issue. And then you just reach out to Mike directly and like, look, I understand it, I get it. You telling jokes. I just didn't appreciate that you made that statement
You're like,
about me.
yeah,
And that's the end of it. And
and
that's
and
the
it,
end
and
of
it,
it.
and it would have been done.
That's it. But
It,
instead,
it would have been
he
done.
he then goes on his platform, uses as content, and then even in the situation where he talks about in that clip where he was like, oh, I'm tired of being a bigger man. And then Ocho kind of eggs it on where Ocho was like, yeah, but you got to put it back in its place, because if you don't, then people continue to try to come at you. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, damn, but why you gaslighting it though? Why you instigating it now?
Chad tried to act like he didn't even know who he was talking about the whole time.
No, but see, hold
Chad
on.
was trying to stay out of it because he was like, "Oh, I don't even know who you're talking about."
Right.
Remember,
Chad,
he was like,
Chad,
"Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about."
yeah.
How do you not know who you're talking about? Come on,
he
bro.
was talking about. But that's one of them situations where I wish people would just be genuine and be like, yo, you know what? Call that man. Get him on the phone. Get him on the phone. Now, if he give you a certain energy when y'all speak, then it's different. Then I understand that. Because I completely, like I just said, if you bring a certain energy towards me, then I have the right to match that energy. So if I try to speak to you as a man and be like, yo, I really didn't appreciate that comment.
Like, chill on that shit.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate that statement you made, bro. I just want you to know. And then if y'all just have a good, productive conversation, you move past it, and that's the end of it. Because like you said, there is nothing to be gained. There's nothing to be gained from two grown men arguing on the internet and possibly getting into it in the street. Nothing comes from that.
Yep. And you know what though? Which shows that it was, it's all monetary. Chad knew who he was talking about, right? Also, Chad has been irrelevant for years, right? Now he's on what's it? See, I don't need what's the show called?
On Nightcap.
Now he's on the Nightcap
and
3 nights a week.
I was about to say the crazy part is I don't mean to interrupt you. But the crazy part is Nightcap. I think they're doing better numbers when Gilbert Arenas is the co-host than when
really than Chad.
Because if you just look it up recently,
another controversial figure. That's people want to see controversy, and Chad is trying to fit into that lane. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, but still trying to be safe. He knew who the fuck he was talking about last week. He knew who he was talking about, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know, but I'm ready." Like, you knew who he was talking about the whole time. Like, don't try to ride the wave and then jump off the train when you see some turbulence, man. Like that whole situation is phony as hell, and I just hate it overall. Now shout out to Shay Shay for his platform. Shout out to Chad on the Nightcap. Shout out to, I'm not even bringing Gil in this. That's my guy. I mean, he's controversial, but you know what I'm saying? I welcome that. But don't, like, if you're gonna get in there, pause. If you're not, then don't be. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get on one side of the yard. You know what I'm saying? Which you in this yard or that yard? And that's how me and you been rocking for years. Cause we stay in the same damn yard, man. Like, don't try to hop the fence on me.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that to me, all of that plays into it. It was whack the way it started to go down, and that particular incident is one that highlights what you were talking about. That in Hollywood right now, and within this space of content creation of media, we get this bullshit, because that's what it is. It's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's clickbait. It's let's drum up some bullshit controversy that's going, create streams, create revenue, and then likes and comments. And then a month from now, when the dust is already settled and nobody's thinking about this anymore, but now all these people are reaping the benefits from it. But I think it's whack, because you brought up a great point. 60+ million people watched the Club Shay Shay interview with Cat Williams. But a lot of people that
in like 3 days, which is nuts.
But I'm willing to bet that more than half the people that watch the interview aren't from the culture, aren't from our environment. They love to see it. They love to see the. They were just watching the car accident. They were just watching the wreck. That's what it was. They were just watching the wreckage and watching, you know what I'm saying, one black man tear down 5 other black men.
At least.
Right. and then using that to then create the memes and create all this additional content where now people, no matter how you feel about Steve Harvey, he's had a great career, but now he's subjected to just becoming a meme now because Cat Williams went in on Club Shay
Yeah.
Shay. Cedric the Entertainer, who's had a great career, he's subject to now he's just a meme. I thought the earthquake one was the worst. We talked about that. Earthquake, like that's a serious issue, bro. Whether it's true or not, you don't just throw out there that man can't read.
Yeah, that was foul.
You don't say that. That man family, his kids got to see that. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't if it is true, you just
That was mad foul.
Yeah.
And I rock with Quake. That's a DC dude. I rock with Quake. And that was
super
and
foul.
it was false. And it was false.
But see what I mean? That's what makes it look so bad because we live in a society now where it doesn't matter whether you're telling the truth or you're lying. It's the first person to say it. That's where the validity gets held now. You said it first, so that's what it gotta be.
They take that as verbatim and they think that's what the truth is when it's I mean, you're right. That is the society we live in. And it's sad that that's the state that we are in. But it is the state we're in, you know. If it for him to do that and for Shannon to allow that, like you could have easily stepped in right then and said, come on, this dude been on like so he didn't read scripts on Everybody Hates Chris when he was playing the uncle.
Right.
Like he could have stepped in right there and been like, wait, whoa, he can't read? Like how'd you show me that he can't read?
Right, like that's what I'm saying.
Or with I mean I don't want to give that interview any more attention than it needs to be. Fair. But that shit was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That was not right.
I just think
he knows it. And I don't think he cares because look at all those views he got. And now, he's on tour. And I bet it's sold out.
Of course it's sold out.
But guess what? He's not funny. Well, he might be some people's cup of tea. He's not funny.
I think that my own takeaway from it was that I don't know if I said this when we talked about it at that time, but my takeaway from it is that Cat Williams he was hot. He had the light at that time. Coming off Friday After Next, coming off those couple stand-ups he was hot. And he had his moment. But that moment was 10 plus years ago.
And he was the one-trick pony too. He was riding Money Mike.
Right, but not only that,
he was doing the pimp shit the whole time he was popular when he was on that pimp shit.
Yeah. Pimp Chronicles. It was all
centered around that. It was all that. It was one-trick pony.
And I think that it's a tough pill to swallow when you see other people continue to ascend and you still stuck in the same spot. I'm not saying he broke. I'm not saying that he's struggling living his life. I'm sure he's doing well. But the fact that your prime was over 10 years ago, the fact that we know you more recently for getting choked up by a teenager.
I was about to bring that up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those let's be real. Those are harsh realities for people. For him to say, like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't even want to go too, because you're right. We give him way too much credibility to that interview. But I just felt like I understood it in the moment. I kind of understood, like, all right, he's giving him an opportunity to respond to what people said about him. But there was also some jabs he took there at people that had not said nothing. Whether you like Kevin Hart or not, Kevin Hart hadn't said anything about Cat Williams. Yeah, he went out his way to go at Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
he went at his way to go at Earthquake, even though Earthquake didn't say nothing about him. Like some of those attacks.
He went out his way to talk about everybody. Like nobody brought up Cat, but he brought up everybody else.
Well, I mean, like I said, the Steve Harvey, the Cedric, the Ricky Smiley, those were questions that were brought up on Club Shay Shay that they talked about Cat Williams, because Cedric there's the video footage where he says, "There's no way I stole his joke. The timing don't match up." So I can understand him being upset about that. But to say what you said about Earthquake, there was no reason for that, bro. Earthquake ain't said nothing about you.
And every single comedian he went at, I pay money to see them before him. For real. I
I mean,
go
that's
see
it.
Ricky Smiley. To me, it's funnier than Cat Williams. Steve Harvey, to me, is funnier than Cat Williams. Cedric the Entertainer, to me, is funnier than Cat Williams. And the list goes on. Like, I was at the, I could go right now and grab the ticket stub. I was at the Kings of Comedy original tour. DL, DL, Steve, Barney, uh, Steve Harvey, they was all funnier than him. I seen Chris Rock live, funnier. Dave Chappelle,
Oh, Chris
funnier.
Rock, yeah, Chris Rock, yeah, yeah. When you talking Rock and Chappelle, that's different
I'm
levels.
just talking
They're
like, we talking GOAT categories when we
right,
talking
right,
about
right,
that.
yeah.
But like, it's a lot of dudes that are way funnier than you. So what was that rant about? You know what I'm saying? Well, are you mad because you're not as talented, or you mad because a lot of that stuff people say some of it's made up. So what you really on, dog?
I think,
Like
like I
just
said,
step your game up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the light ain't on you right now, and again, that's a tough pill to swallow because we got to remember he went from he was doing his thing, he was working, but he had no movie roles before Friday After Next.
Mm-mm.
So you went from being a solid stand-up comedian, right, to now being a star because the Money Mike character made him a star. And all of that happens overnight, and then you have like this straight rise to the top where now you're the big earner. Everybody's checking for you now, coming off that movie role. Everybody's checking for you. And then you start to descend a little bit, where it's like, all right, now, like you said, it's wore thin already. The character of the Pimp Chronicles, all that is starting to wear thin now. And then you start to get the bad publicity, whether it's alcohol abuse, whether it's substance abuse. He said he only do drugs, whatever the case may be. But there was a lot of allegations that he was on drugs. Then you get choked out by a kid, and that shit goes viral. So
Everybody feel that.
right. So now you no longer the person everybody's checking for. And I don't care what nobody say. He can sit there all he want to be like, oh, I've done this many world tours. I'm sure the box office wasn't hitting the same. The ticket sales ain't hitting the same. The trips and the cross country tours and all that ain't hitting the same no more now.
Because those jokes grew stale.
Yeah, they grew stale.
Like, how much pimp stuff do we want to see? How many times can you say pimp down and people find it funny? You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to him.
And
His act
Cat,
grew stale.
and not only that, but Cat likes to, let's keep it a buck too. Cat likes to fancy himself as like he's tough. When you get choked out by a teenager, all that tough shit go out the window. Now you never look the same.
Yeah, you gotta curb all that.
Right. That's why like all that shit with Shannon, where he like we line up against one another. It's like, Cat, we just seen a 15-year-old boy choke you out in the in the grass.
I
Like,
even posted that. Shout out for the love of the game. I
shout out
posted
to
that in the group. Like, yo,
we don't believe you.
yeah, you need more people, dog.
Yeah, we just don't believe you now. You know what I'm saying? Until it was just it's tough for me to believe you was like this athlete that you claim to be and all that. I don't believe that. I don't know.
We just talked for 35 minutes or so about Cat Williams. I'm mad about that.
It is what it is. Listen. The comment section is light tonight, but this is
it's all good.
This is the Tuesday night toast.
A new venture.
This is the Tuesday night toast with the opinionated ones. We're gonna be doing this every Tuesday night. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. Whatever it is, whatever it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be.
Sure.
Will, what you want to get into? You want to?
What's up with the NFL right now? I mean, I know the season's over, but you see some guys not franchised today, especially Saquon Barkley.
Saquon's the biggest name, yeah.
Man, there's gonna be some suitors for Saquon. What you think? What you think his destination is gonna be?
So there's going to be a lot of
Because there's
suitors
going to
for
be
him.
people coming for him.
Oh yeah,
Pause. There's going to be people coming for him.
there's going to be a lot of suitors, and I think if he's looking to get the bag, if he's looking to get the money, I think Miami's in play. Because remember, Miami tried to trade for Jonathan Taylor last year, and I think Miami will try to throw money at Saquon to see if he's interested in coming down there with all the other pieces they have. If he's looking to just get on a team that can win, he will have those options as well. Because I think the Ravens are in the market for a running back. I think the Bills are in the market for a running back. So he'll have some suitors, contenders, and teams that maybe just on the outside of being a contender. The Giants situation makes no sense to me because they didn't have to give Daniel Jones the bag last year. I think they were competing against themselves. Nobody else was going to pay Daniel Jones $40 million a year. They completely overpaid.
And are they talking about getting rid of him?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There was already reports today, now that the combine is over, that they have buyer's remorse, and that the talk internally is that they're going to try to get rid of him at some point before the start of this upcoming season, or this is going to be his last season there. So they've kind of already made up their mind they're going to move on from him. And yet Saquon, who has battled through the injuries and who's been the best player on that team for the past 5 years, he can't get a deal. So I don't know. I don't think the Giants are going to overpay him, to be honest. I think he's gone. Because unless they can find something to do with that Daniel Jones contract, it makes no sense. Daniel Jones making $40 million a year. You can't justify giving Saquon $25 million now. And now
he's basically gone. They said he's March 13th, he's out of there.
He gone. Like I said, because you just can't justify it now. They find themselves in a position where it's like, even if you give Saquon his market value, there's going to be too much money tied up between those two positions to really field the rest of the team. That team got a lot of holes. The offensive line ain't good. The receiving core ain't good. The secondary ain't good. Like, they have a lot of holes on that team. And if you're Saquon, I think also there's one of those situations where the people close to him got to be like, yo, you really killing yourself for nothing. Because you out here playing through injuries and you're doing everything you can for a team that has no shot of winning a Super Bowl and is not close enough to winning a Super Bowl. Go somewhere else, get the bag, and compete at the higher level and kind of show people that you can be one of these top running backs, similar to like Christian McCaffrey. Because Christian McCaffrey was wasting away in Carolina, and now that he's in San Fran, we talking about him as, offense player of the year, potential MVP of the league, all that type of stuff. So that's what Saquon got to do.
I can't say I didn't bring that up to kind of make it about my squad. But don't be surprised if the Chargers are in the running for Saquon.
So
because with Eckler, who's been mad productive, as we all know, for like the last 4 years, but he's about to be 30. Saquon's a little bit younger, and probably will cost the same money. And I'm like, they're kind of the same dude. You know what I'm saying? As far as players, they're kind of the same dude. So I'm gonna just say that. Do not be surprised if Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers try to sign him. Just don't be surprised.
I think so. I think Harbaugh is going to look to upgrade the running back position. Historically, he likes to run the ball. He liked to do that in San Fran. Obviously, he likes to do that in Michigan. But you have put up a post. I meant to comment on it because you have put like an over-under of 3.5 Michigan players drafted. And I think you're onto something there for two reasons. One, as I've highlighted before, the Chargers are kind of in a tough spot cap-wise. So you gotta, any upgrades are pretty much gonna have to come through the draft. And if you're Harbaugh, you're probably gonna trust guys that already know your system. But two, the running back Blake Corum, I think, is gonna be on your list. He had a really good combine. They just had the highlights of him doing 27 bench reps, which was like the same as some of the offensive linemen at the combine. He's a guy who started for Harbaugh for the last 2 years. Blake Corum, the running back for Michigan.
Oh, no, from Michigan? Yeah. Okay.
He had a really good combine showing. Like I say, I think he had the top bench press reps for any running back. He pretty shifty running back, but he scored, I believe, over 40 touchdowns the 3 years he was with Harbaugh. So he's a guy that Harbaugh likes, Harbaugh trusted. I would not be surprised if that becomes their number one target in the draft. And
In
Harbaugh
like the
said
third round?
second or third round. Because I could see Harbaugh saying, we need to upgrade the running back position no matter what. But why not? Why spend big money on a running back when we can draft one and specifically draft the guy that knows the system I'm going to implement? So
It's gonna make $800K.
right, make $800K. And Blake Corum, make no mistake, he's not just a power back. He's a guy who can catch the ball out the backfield as well. So he would fit the need for them, and he would be a much cheaper alternative than Austin Eckler or even Saquon. Not to say Saquon wouldn't be great with the Chargers. I just think the Chargers have other areas that they need to address, and paying Saquon $25 million a year may just not be at the top of their list.
That's true.
So, but Blake,
I mean, the days of paying running backs top dollar is over. It's just,
yeah,
if you think that's going to take you over to the next level, that's where I can see it happen. But if it's not that situation, then no, you're not paying a running back top dollar. Ain't no way.
I don't think the Chargers go that route, because the Chargers, we talked about before, they got a lot of decisions to make on the defensive side of the ball.
You know where I wouldn't be surprised to see him land? Tampa. I mean, because Tampa's like, they re-upped on Mike Dub today. I mean, they re-upped today on the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Baker's, I think, didn't they give Baker another contract? Or was he already under contract?
No, they haven't given him the contract, but all the rumors is that's his number one choice and that they plan on giving him money.
So it's like, that might be the missing piece as far as they think, you know what I mean? But I mean, we got to see how it plays out, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up down there either.
Yeah, there's going to be some teams with some big money. Denver won't be one of them, because Denver fucked that all up.
Did you see the dead cap money?
$85 million.
$85 million by cutting Russ.
And
that tells you that was personal. That tells you that was completely personal. That was not about football.
No, it was personal, but that's because they completely fumbled that whole situation. Remember, when they hired Nathaniel Hackett as the head coach, they were thinking that they were going to be able to get Aaron Rodgers. They couldn't get Aaron Rodgers. They go get Russ. They trade a bunch of draft picks for Russ, give Russ the new deal, and then they never make it work with Nathaniel Hackett. Hackett was a bad head coach anyway, but it never works. Then you hire Sean Payton. You knew this was going to be an issue because Sean Payton wasn't the one who handpicked Russell Wilson.
Right.
He didn't pick him as his quarterback. So now he's stuck with the guy. The part that I don't understand from Denver's perspective is that why would you, if you knew Russ isn't my guy, why would you play Russ for 14 games this year? I would have tanked it away. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know it's easier said than done because you got other guys in that locker room that want to play. But I would have sat Russ by week 6 and be like, all right, it ain't working. We going younger, and we're going to focus on the draft. Now you at a point where you have $85 million in dead cap. You have zero flexibility with that roster, and you're not in position to draft an impact quarterback.
And who's the GM that made those decisions? Was it the same guy?
Same guy.
And he's still employed
for now. He'll be gone.
He gotta go.
He'll be gone. I think he'll be gone soon. It's Sean Payton coming in, and Sean Payton wanting a new quarterback. It'll be interesting to see what they do at that position, because I don't think there's a quick fix out there. I don't think there's somebody who could just come in and make it better for them. So I think Sean Payton's still going to be in a tough spot where you're going to have to really build it up. You're going to have to figure it out. But in terms of Saquon, like I said, I think he's going to have a lot of suitors, man. You're going to have teams that are close enough to a Super Bowl, but you might have to take less money if you want to play at that level, like the Ravens. And then you're going to have some young teams. You're going to have the Texans, who got a lot of money, bro. You can go out there with C.J. Stroud and team with him and turn that into a really, really good team.
Well, I'm hearing Derrick Henry might go there.
I'm hearing Derrick Henry there. I'm hearing Derrick Henry possibly to Baltimore. That's been like
What
the
do you
number one
think? Who
destination.
do you think is the like number one free agent right now? With all
Um,
these, all these announcements today that dudes aren't being franchised and everything else.
probably honestly, probably Kirk Cousins. I think it's
Yeah,
Kirk because as we talked about before, if Kirk were to go to the 49ers, that might completely shift the whole NFC.
yeah.
Kirk.
Shout out to the Junkies and JP, friend of the show.
Yeah, shout out to the
It's a
Junkies.
lot of talk. It's a lot of talk about Kirk Cousins going back to Washington, and he came out and said he was open to it.
If he goes
I mean,
back to Washington,
I'm not saying that's the best situation for him as far as talent around him,
mhm,
but we know that's not his focus. His focus is the bag.
they
And
brought in Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator, right?
yep, yep.
See, I
So
think
you got the what they call that under my man, rest in peace from Texas Tech,
what air
uh,
raid.
the air raid. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you know what I mean. So what's my man's name? I don't want to disrespect him. The coach that passed away at Texas Tech. He was a
Wasn't that
wild cat.
yeah,
You
I
know
know
what
who
I'm
you're talking
talking
about.
about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about.
But yeah,
But
rest in peace. Man.
I would say this, right? If you're Kirk Cousins, if you decide to go back to DC, I get it. I don't think it's professionally, I don't think it's the best move to make. But if that's the best option, then you got to go with your best option. But if you do that, if you're the Commanders, then without a doubt
But
you're
what
taking
if they do that? If they sign him and
you're
they sitting
taking
at number two,
you're taking
go get
Harrison Jr.
Marvin.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
taking Harrison without a
absolutely,
doubt. Without a doubt.
absolutely.
That's what I was about to say. If you're Kirk and that's your best option, right? Because we're talking about it now as if we assume the 49ers are interested. Maybe the 49ers aren't interested. Maybe the Niners are saying we're running back with Brock Purdy. But if you go to DC, then it's got to be assumed that Marvin Harrison is the pick at number 2.
Yeah, if you get the quarterback in free agency, yeah, absolutely.
Now, you know what would
And
be
then
crazy though?
you can still keep uh, Sam Howell
Yeah, as the
on his
understudy.
rookie deal. You
Yeah,
know
as
what
the
I'm saying?
understudy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Now
That's a,
you know what would be crazy though? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know in the past, I think the NFL might have changed it now, but I know in the past, free agency used to be before the draft.
it still is.
Right, still is, right? What if
Yeah.
Kirk signs and then the Bears don't take Caleb Williams number 1?
Mm. I don't think they should move on from what's the kid's name? I
Justin
don't think
Fields.
they should. Yeah, I don't think they should move on from Fields.
I agree. And that's why I present that scenario, because Caleb Williams is a local product. He's from Maryland.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah,
if you're the
and you know what? I didn't know that till like 2 weeks
Mhm.
ago. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're the Commanders, I don't know how you could pass on taking Caleb Williams. Like he's the hometown kid. And if everything they saying is true, that they comparing them already, style wise, not accomplishment, but style wise, they're comparing him to Aaron Rodgers and to a Patrick Mahomes. If you're the Commanders, a team that's been searching for a face of your franchise for so long, how could you not take Caleb Williams number 2?
Because I think he's going to be off the board already.
I agree. I'm just saying that it would be a very interesting scenario if, let's say, the Bears say, no, we're going to double down on Fields. We're going to try to get more talent around Fields, because the Bears have so many picks. This is why I don't understand why everybody's saying that.
But if they do that, it's because somebody's going to move up.
I don't think
in
you
my
have.
opinion.
I don't. So this is what I was about to say. If you're the Bears, this is why I don't understand why the experts are saying that it has to be Caleb Williams or it has to be a trade. The Bears have their own first round pick as well. So you have 2 of the top 7 picks in the draft. If you really feel, right, if you're evaluating talent and you feel Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player in the draft, what's stopping you from taking him? Our young quarterback needs the weapons anyway.
At one?
At one. Because I can always address my O-line with that 7th pick. I can always address another need at the 7th pick. But
I
if
just
I
don't
got
think the Bears are savvy enough to do that.
and
I think they would trade out of that pick and try to get more picks and try to build around Fields if that's the way they want to go. If they think Fields is going to be the guy. If they're not going after the quarterback, then they're going to trade out. Period. They're not going to take a receiver at number one. What was the last receiver to go number one?
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yep.
Damn. And that was what? God damn, that was a long time ago. 96,
I was about to say
98,
that's like
somewhere around there.
95. I think that was 95, 96. But
Yeah, they
I
ain't
just
doing
think
that.
if I'm like I said, if I'm viewing it from the Bears perspective, and I'm only saying this because they have 2 first-round picks that are very high. If I got 2 picks, I felt the same way when the Browns had taken the year the Browns took Denzel Ward, and that might have been Baker number 1 that year.
Yeah, Baker was
Yeah,
one.
Baker. They took Baker and then they took Ward at number 4. And I felt the same way then, right? If I got 2 high picks, I'm not going to play around with the first pick. I'm going to take who I feel is the best player on the board because I still have the leeway now to address another need later on. The Texans did it last year. The Texans took CJ Stroud, traded back up, got Will Anderson. You take who you feel. You take who you feel is the best guy because I have the luxury of knowing I have this other pick in my back pocket where I can still address another need. I don't have to get too cute now and trade back and get more assets for what? I got my young quarterback. If I'm saying that Justin Fields, I want to try to make it work and I want to give you every opportunity to be successful. I got you DJ Moore last year. Go get the young man Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. And now there's no excuses. You got to make it work now because if you Justin Fields and you can't make it work with Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore, then you definitely ain't our quarterback anyway.
And then go get one of these free agent running backs.
Yeah. Then I mean,
it could be a thing. It could be a thing in Houston.
Then what if the Bears hit up Saquon and be like, we got a lot of money over here?
Yeah. See, that's why the NFL is number 1 in all sports. Because even though we said the NFL season's over, it's a year-round thing with the NFL. You know what I'm saying? We ain't brought up nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The NFL is king. We've been saying that.
Yeah, it is. And I think, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts to all of this. It's going to get interesting as we get close to the draft next month. But the NFL right now is king. It's crazy that here we are in the middle of the NBA season and we ain't really even talking about. We didn't talk no basketball tonight, and we haven't really been talking no basketball because it's been one of the most boring NBA seasons ever.
And I've been saying the NBA, it's just been letting me down. The style of play. I don't see the passion anymore. Like remember back in the day when you could turn on an NBA game and dudes was out there like playing like it was their last game. That does not exist anymore. It's like they just out there just
going through the motions.
They just out there. Yeah, it's like
just going through the motions.
Man, it's so disrespectful to the history of the game and to the people that paved the way, and it's just trash. You got like how many teams? Maybe 8 teams that are competing for the championship. Maybe 8.
I don't even think
it's
that
might be generous. You know what I'm saying?
Very generous. I don't even think it's 8.
I'm going both conferences. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't even think it's 8.
That's what I'm saying. It's garbage. And then the stars are the stars, but it's just ugly to watch, and I hate it. And me as a consumer of the game, I'm not gonna force myself to watch it. Like when Kenny, Chuck, Ernie, and Shaq are the best part of the game, we in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying?
It feels
they're the best part of the game.
It's crazy.
Like put it like this. I've literally gone back to watch highlights of Kenny and them rather than to watch the actual highlights of the game.
I just feel like too many of these nights and too many of these games, it feels like players are going through the motion. And in a way, it feels like we've reached a point where if it ain't my team or anybody else's team, because I've heard other people say this, if it's not your team playing, there is no interest. There just isn't any interest. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got a couple good teams, but if the Knicks ain't playing, like I'll tune in here and there. I'm not really dedicating myself to watch a whole game.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do, like you said, because it's been such a bad season, where it's like I don't even want to tune in to watch some of these other teams because most nights they got a star or two stars that aren't even playing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We just got into March. The Celtics got 3 wins this year by 50 plus wins. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Shit, wouldn't they just be Golden State by the other night? Weren't they up like
on a Sunday primetime game?
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And so why do I want to tune in on a regular Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or a Thursday night? Like why do I? You're not giving me a product.
And that's what I'm
You're
saying.
Giving me trash.
That's what I'm
You're
saying.
Giving me trash.
It's getting to the point, like I said, where to tune in for some of these games is just like a drag at this point. It's like I don't want to tune in because these games are over by the third quarter.
Yep. Oh, at halftime.
Yeah, some of these games are over very early, and it's like unless it's my team personally that I have a rooting interest in, I'm not interested in really watching these games. So I'll tune in here and there. Like you said, I'll catch the highlights. I might go back and rewatch it if it turned out to be a really good game or like a historic performance. But for the most part, it's been a bad NBA season. And honestly, this might be one of the worst NBA seasons of the last 20 years.
And when your team sucks,
no, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole
when your team's only won 9 games. When your team hasn't won, when your team didn't win a game in the entire month of February. I don't know who I'm speaking on. I'm just bringing up stuff.
We know.
Just bringing up stuff. But when your team don't win a game in a whole month, even when the month they gave them an extra day because it's leap year day and you still can't win a game, like why do I need to turn on the TV? Yeah. And I used to be an NBA subscriber, like to the
I did too.
The league package and all that. Man, ain't no way.
Yeah,
ain't no way.
But nah, we're gonna wrap up on that note. Again, guys, make sure you subscribe to the Sanchez Show. We'll be back next Tuesday. Tuesday Night Toast will continue next Tuesday with my brother Will Gordon and myself. Will, you got any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Hey, RIP to my man that just passed away, man. RIP to the Moore Report, man.
Chris Mortensen.
Chris Mortensen, man. RIP to Chris Mortensen. He was a pioneer, and he was on his grind for years and years, covering the NFL. He was always giving you the real, and it's sad when you see these guys fall off, man, because it's like, dang, it almost makes you realize your own mortality. You know what I mean? Because it's like these are the guys we grew up watching and whatnot. RIP to the Moore Report, man. Chris Mortensen, RIP.
I 100% agree with you on that. Seeing some of these guys and knowing that these were people that we grew up watching and trusting their insight to now see them age and then, unfortunately pass away, it definitely kind of reevaluate things. And you look at things a little differently. And like you said, you also start to kind of view your own mortality and realize like, man, time is really flying by, man. But thoughts and prayers out to his family. Again, we appreciate all the supporters. It was a quiet night in the comment section, but it's all good because we know we're going to get it back rolling next week. We just got to get everybody adjusted to us recording on a Tuesday night. But we're going to wrap up on that note for my brother Will Gordon. I am Eric Sanchez. We are the Opinionated Ones, and we will see you guys next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. sharp. Make sure you're there.